Hey my friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Marissa and I am very excited to be extending my own gifts and services to the planet at this time, to you guys at this time. I really love these more like lighthearted readings because I tend to, deep dive a lot into soul blueprint types of stuff, but I think it's a good balance, it's all very complementary and relative to this very multifaceted and multi-layered experience we find ourselves in. So quick disclaimer that there is someone impersonating me currently on Instagram, and I'm not sure if they're on other places, honestly, because you know what these people do, these scammers will like block you so you don't really know that there's a separate account made that looks almost identical to your own. So just be aware if like you ever want to check out my other platforms. All of that is in my description box, okay? And just like follow the specifications in the description box. And just know that I don't generally ever reach out to anyone soliciting any services ever, unless they have reached out to me directly and asked me, questions about what I offer. Just know that, okay? And yeah, stay woke, stay aware out there. Interesting times to be alive on the planet, but very exciting and adventurous nonetheless. All right, so these readings today are all about what people wonder about you, okay? I'm really excited to offer these to you guys. You have 4 piles to choose from today. And if you tend to overthink things, like, sometimes I overthink more simple things in terms of using my intuition and overriding it. So if that tends to be something you do in pick of cards, maybe just use a random number generator. That usually serves me really well and always is pretty spot on. So when you guys are ready, we're going to hop right into these readings. Hey, group number 1, welcome to your reading for what it is people wonder about you. Okay, so this is more so in terms of like people that maybe have just met you or just like starting to get to know you, okay, is kind of the intention I had for this. So right away, what I'm seeing is like, there is great mystery about you, pile number 1. I feel like people are very inspired and very in awe of the individual that you are and how open you are with like all aspects of yourself. We have the moon here, we have the light here. And what I love about this moon card in particular is that, I heard reckless abandon, but in like a positive way when I first saw this card. It's like the moon oftentimes represents great mystery and illusion and our deepest fears and our deepest darkness. And she's just got like a champagne bottle and, she's partying. So like, I feel like there's this very lighthearted nature about you, but at the same time, it's like there's such a beautiful dichotomy, with this 2 of Pentacles. I am getting the energy of like, you embody many different versions, and I feel like you're just a very multi-layered being, okay? Like there's a lot of layers to you and people don't know what they're gonna get, and I feel like you're very open with all aspects of yourself. Lilith also represents that kind of aspect, and Sheila Negay, like she's got no F's are given here, okay? I feel like people are very curious to see like what makes up who you are. The tarantula and the camel, like both of these cards represent, like, this is a card of dharma, all right? And weaving the web of your dharma is oftentimes what I think of like when I see spiders, and just having a higher purpose. And the camel is an individual that is like self-sustained. And you actually have that again with the 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups. There's a lot of 9 energy coming through here in general. So that could be like a significant number for you. Maybe your life path 9 or like born on a 9, or this could just be saying that you exude a certain degree of mastery just about yourself. Like how you carry yourself is very regal. I feel like you don't let on too much at first, where it's like, I feel like you're the type of person that like you're asking a lot of questions to other people. And when it comes to like getting to know you, I feel like people don't even know where to start, right? There's a lot of layers to you and what you have to offer. I feel like sometimes if people see you just like out in public and don't really know you or haven't really developed a relationship with you, there can be this sense of like, you can have like maybe an RBF or something. like a very serious face. And so people are like sometimes wondering what you're thinking about. And yeah, I do feel like there's this kind of otherworldly nature that you kind of exude. And yeah, that 9 energy too represents, to me, it can, it's like Sag energy, you know, Sagittarius energy and 9th house energy. So your head could literally just be your heads. Don't know what that means, but you know, you could literally just be thinking about, you know, the nature of reality and just like, otherworldly things or things that are just beyond. Like, I'm getting very cosmic codes from this. Yeah, but ultimately, you're very self-sustained. People want to know what you do in the world, like how you make money. They want to know what you have to offer because, like, you're such a bright person to be around. I feel like when you walk into a room, you are noticed and people are just gravitated towards you. You've done a good degree of like soul searching and discovering who you are. And so people really relate to you. And I feel like people feel very non-judged. Like, you offer a very non-judgmental space to other people when they come into your field and when they get to know you, when they talk to you more. Yeah, there's this undeniable sense of power, you know, and just being okay with all aspects of the human experience, you know, and the ebbs and the flows, the light and the dark. I feel like people wonder if you're really saying what you really feel with the Page of Swords and the mental conflict. I feel like, if anything, there might be, like, people can sometimes feel judged, but it's not your fault. I feel like it's because you're so perceptive, again, with that, a lot of that 9th house energy, and that fire element is very perceptive, right? It brings that which is generally remains hidden. It brings it to the light, right? And I feel like you're so perceptive and aware of yourself that people feel like you can see right through them, okay? That you can like read their soul, and there's something about your gaze that continues to come through here. But I feel like ultimately people feel very comfortable around you, pal number 1. And yeah, I'm also getting that people are like, you have a very youthful spirit, and even your appearance is very youthful, but you have like a very old wisdom, ancient soul. Yeah, and I feel like there is so much here suggesting that people think that you're concealing something, but honestly, what I see and what I'm getting from these codes is just that you're more able to meet other people where they're at, and I feel like that's not oftentimes something that can be reciprocated to you. So, you know, that's something that goes along with being an old soul and just, you know, being someone that is on a spiritual journey. As the more expanded your lens of perception becomes, it's like, you know, if you're here and other people are here, it's like you can meet them fairly easily, but it might be harder, you know, for other people to stretch and to see through your eyes. And so, yeah, I think you do help open people's eyes in terms of like different ways of seeing and different ways of existing. And I feel like people feel very nourished when they're in your presence. And there's a lot of people that when you meet them, they wonder like how it is you came to be who you are. Okay, I feel like a lot of people are like, okay, this person has so many different sides to them. And I do feel like there is a lot here too about, yeah, like what true confidence is, pal number 1. I feel like you really exude a true level of confidence. That's where this 9 of Pentacles and this 9 of energy, like there's such a contentment that, you know, both of these women portray and exude. And I feel a big part of that is like, you know how to tackle your own demons. You don't run away from them. And the beauty about Lilith, like I love the Lilith archetype. It's all about, you know, embracing your shadow, embracing your darkness, and, you know, not judging yourself for your, you know, sexuality, and not judging yourself for all of these qualities that are very inherent to the human experience that for some reason we have, you know, kind of diluted and convinced ourselves is like lower nature or something, you know, because I am getting that. Well, obviously it's like anything you're doing can be, you know, anything can become too much. All right. And not enough of something can become too little. So it's like that moderation kind of thing. a big part of your expression and what you bring forth to other people, like what you help shine the light on, is embracing the dualistic nature of a human incarnation and not making it mean anything, right? Not making it mean anything good or bad. I feel like overall people just see you as someone that is extremely self-sourced and like very powerful, and I think people are left in awe of you, pile number one, when they come into your field, no matter how long. And I feel like sometimes people can get tongue-tied around you and maybe stumble over their words and get like kind of nervous talking to you, and maybe in their head about what it is that they're going to say and how they're going to say it. I feel like sometimes people can this might sound totally random or weird, but I feel like sometimes people might use like big words around you, or words that they just like throwing together like a word salad of spiritual words or something to kind of like try to impress you or make it seem like, you guys are like on the same level or whatever, in a really innocent way. But yeah, I feel like too, people like stalk your social media when they come into contact with you. And they, for the most part, you wouldn't even be able to know. But I feel like, yeah, people are not always upfront with their true intentions with you. And I feel like it's not even a negative thing, but I just think you're very alluring and you're someone that is just enticing. And I feel like there is a degree of like fear of rejection around you. And like, yeah, so on one hand, it's this weird dichotomy of feeling like they can't help open up to you. And on another sense, it's like a fear. It's like their deeper fear. It's like they're just a wound within other people. I feel that we all carry, we all share as human species, that wound of not wanting to share too much because then someone can hurt us or whatever. But I feel like people just can't help it, right? People just can't help opening up to you. And I feel like people probably also do tell you, though, a lot, like, their interest. So on one hand, I feel like people, like, sheepishly might dance around how they feel about you. So they're, like, kind of telling you, but they're not as direct as they could be, And I feel like it's because they wonder, like, is this person taken? How does this person feel about me? I feel like you're just naturally a very warm individual. And so sometimes people, like, speaking from experience, when you're very warm and you really do treat other people like, humans, and you care about them, there can be that, people can misread it, or like if people haven't found that their own purpose or their own source of nourishment, they can get very attracted, or attached, I should say, to your energy and to your light. Okay. And yeah, I feel like people like kind of get attached to you quickly and like want you all to themselves, but I feel like that's something that they wouldn't say directly. But yeah, you're just like a catch all around. Pile number one, male or female, people find you very attractive and very fun to be around, and like you kind of have this lighthearted energy about all aspects of yourself that really is like a breath of fresh air for people, because a lot of people hold shame around it. But with this Lilith energy and moon energy, it's like you're like, this is me in my totality, and there's no shame. And maybe that's something you have worked a lot on over the years, and it really shows. But yeah, people just there's a lot here too about just being independent, and you seeming like you're very abundant, and you dressing well and looking nice, and having your shit together, and people you just have such an abundant energy. People are like, this person is probably doing really well financially. Yeah, we have trust, we have patience. So yeah, I feel like people trust you. That's very obvious that there is a deep degree here of like people just can't help but like spilling. You draw something out. You draw people's authentic side out. You draw their shadow out. Okay, because you have these codes. So you've done so much integrating of your own shadow, and so if you hold similar codes as someone else in terms of the shadow work that you've done, you're going to draw that out of other people of like, hey, here's an opportunity to see how you can integrate this, how you can bring this to the light. I feel like you help people believe in themselves, and I feel like a big part of your message is just trusting the process and surrendering to something just greater than one's own self. And I feel like people wonder like how you have gotten to where you are, and yeah, how like I feel like you're just there's such a sense of self-acceptance coming through, and people just wonder like how. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like because, you know, sometimes people get this weird misperception that if you like look a certain way or you carry yourself a certain way that you must have always been like that. And so I feel like there is though something about you, because like when people share about their darkness and you say something to them like very wise or very from a much more expanded level that helps people not feel so tied to this karmic knot, it kind of like shows them that, wow, this person understands this darkness. And so they're like, I wonder what has made them be able to understand this. And they then start to wonder like what it is that you've actually been through, and how you've been shaped and created into the person that you are. Yeah, there's a lot of trust that you put in people just to like do the right thing, and I feel like it's very admirable that you communicate this degree of having faith in humanity and having faith in people being able to figure their shit out and live lives that they're proud of. And yeah, I feel like people are just enamored with you, honestly, pal number one. Yeah, you've made it through a lot of chaos and conflict, and I feel like that might be part of what you do in this world. I feel like people wonder how you're utilizing all of this knowledge in your own unique way, and like giving back to the world. We have orphaned and thinker. Yeah, there's more of that mental conflict type of energy coming through. So yeah, I feel like people just like see you in such a high light that sometimes like they can wonder. I feel like this is the energy that I'm kind of picking up, is like sometimes people wonder what it is that you see in them, because like a deeper part of themselves feels so attached to like their traumas, and so attached to like the storyline that keeps them weighed down and feeling like their life is a mess. I feel like it's such a breath of fresh air to be around you, because for once someone sees them like beyond just the things that they've gone through. And I feel like they don't even know how to verbalize this, and they don't even really know what's going on. They're just like, there's something that's so nice to be around. I don't know why. They're like, I really don't know why. Like, they even wonder why they like being around you so much. And they can even be like, okay, well, like, of course this is a beautiful person, but they're like, it's so much more than that with pal number one. They're like, it's so much more. Like, of course they're beautiful. Of course they're handsome. Of course people want to be around them for that, but it's so much more than that. Like, you help take people beyond this like sense of limitation, because again, there is a lot here that talks about spiritual awareness and just knowing yourself, and having done a lot of like pulling yourself out of this darkness to experience true joy and true light. And so people are like, what is this? Why does this person want to hang out with me? Like, what does this person see in me? You know, it like makes my heart, it hurts my heart a little bit for the people that do, because of course this is not going to be everyone, but I do feel like there are some individuals that are like, why is this person giving me the time of day, where most people would overlook them? I feel like you have just like such a big heart for humanity and wanting to leave the world a better place, and taking that which seems like very chaotic and forgotten and broken and showing how that's perfect, right? And moving, there's a lot here about moving out of the mind, moving out of the thoughts and the repetition, and moving into a place of stillness and acceptance of self and acceptance of life. And so there's something here about misfits. You make them feel like they belong somewhere. At the very least, you make them feel like they don't, like it's not bad, right? That it's not wrong, right? And it's a bit part of their blueprint. But ultimately, I feel like people see you as someone who is just, has really taken the time to think about life and the nature of reality. And there's something like undeniably just alluring about you and mysterious about you and just so life-giving. I feel like you're the type of person that if someone were to go somewhere to frequent a place or whatever, over and over again, you know how if you go to the same place or do the same thing, you see the same people, it kind of loses its like, I don't know, it just gets a little bit dull sometimes. But I feel like when people do things with you and when they bring you around, it's like everything is infused with this degree of light. And so I feel like a lot of people like tend to think about you when after they've met you, and you definitely leave people feeling like they have been seen, and you leave people wondering like when they're going to see you again, and how you become who you are. And you honestly leave people feeling very inspired and very okay with the totality of themselves as well. Ultimately, I feel like there's a lot of them knowing and them seeing and them like realizing that there is so much more to life, and that again, you just kind of remind them that they can be whoever they want to be. They don't have to attach themselves to this old storyline of chaos and conflict. And you helped to reframe the human experience into something that is serving, right? Because it's all about your perception. So it's like if, the path really is about how do I use everything that's happening, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as a vehicle to go beyond myself and to experience greater peace, right? Extricating yourself from the storm and being that eye of the storm. Yeah, you leave people with a lot to think about, honestly. Like they leave your presence and they're just like, what am I doing with my life? Like, how do I be a better person? Like, you leave people with a lot of hope and inspiration and wanting to make positive changes that supports a more holistic and nourishing and harmonious life for themselves. And yeah, they're just like, just know that when people get to see you, they're very excited, okay, and they love being around you. And especially when people first meet you, they just like can't get enough of your energy. All right, so I'm gonna leave this here for now. Pile number 1, I hope this brought clarity, confirmation, peace, and fun to your heart today. Do leave a comment down below, please. I love hearing how you guys integrated this. Please like this video, subscribe if you've been here before, and I hope to see you soon. What is up, pile number 2? Welcome to your reading for what it is that people wonder about you. Okay, so I feel like, with the responsibility and authority card here, the first thing that I was very clear is people are very awestruck about how confident you are in your beliefs and like how you navigate your life. I feel like people wonder like what sign is this person, or like what's in their astrological chart, or what has this person been through in order to make them someone that has such wisdom and such conviction in their path. People wonder what, like, if you are in the limelight, or if there's something that you do, like if you're an actor or like a model, or people assume or wonder if like you have when they meet you, they wonder if you have some sort of like large following or something. In this age of social media, that becomes kind of a relevant thing to talk about. But yeah, just a heads up, this is more of like people that have just met you or that have only been around you a few times, okay? But it's interesting because you have such a powerful presence and such a you just have such a powerful and convicted presence about you, but also there is such a peace about you as well with this Lamb card. I feel like when to have serious. It's like work hard, play hard is what I'm getting here. Like when to be serious, you know when to get shit done, and then you also know when it's time to loosen up and when it's time to not take yourself and life so seriously. And because of that, it actually like starts to build even greater material and spiritual prosperity, right? Because it's like you're not seeing any aspect of life as being, you know, more spiritual or less spiritual than another. I feel like there's such a wisdom you communicate about, you know, honoring all facets of what it means to be human, right? And there's so much here about abundance too. So people wonder like how much you're making and whatever it is you're doing. And you just look very well nourished and very well like fed holistically, like spiritually speaking, and, you know, in terms of like eating good, you know, living right, eating good kind of thing as well. People wonder like how you carry so much, like how you are able to do so much on your own, because it's like on one hand it seems like you have so many responsibilities to take care of. I could have some like parents here tuning into this, like even you know, parents where there's not a co-parent involved and it's just you, right? There's like such a lightheartedness about you, and just wherever you go you're very lighthearted and kind of carefree. Yeah, I feel like people see you as someone that's always doing something exciting, and they just like wonder where this wellspring of energy comes from, right? And where you get the ideas that you do to like post the content that you do, or to like share the messages that you do. There's something here about being very active in like a public type of role, or something where you're working with a lot of people, or just like people know of you, or people look towards you as like a superior in some way, even though you wouldn't probably call yourself a superior, but people look up to you is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot here about like prophetic wisdom, going within, silence, all right, purity of intention. And I feel like that's what keeps you running, is that, you know, and that's what keeps you feeling so abundant. I'm not saying that like numbers always match what people assume, right? But it's like what keeps you feeling so abundant is just you have, I feel like, placed your priorities, and your priorities are straight, right? And so yeah, I feel like people do wonder like how much you make in whatever it is you do, and I feel like they wonder how you're so fun and lighthearted. But also it's like I'm getting this like really interesting dichotomy. I hear my guides like, listen to this, Marissa, because sometimes they'll like poke me to pay more attention to what I'm about to say if it's like relevant to me, you know? I feel like you have this like, you know, like don't want to fuck with me, but like you want to be on my good side. Not that you have a bad side, but it's just like, I feel like if anything, if people get on your bad side, it's just they don't exist anymore. And that's almost like worse. It's like you don't give them the time of the day. You know, you say what you need to say, you kind of voice your opinion or get out what it feels relevant to get out, and then you're like, all right, I'm done with this, right? But I feel like there's different sides of you that is really appealing to people. Like people really like that, you know, you're really down to business, like very earthly and very about your business, your bag, whatever, you know, there's some indication here about like being an entrepreneur or having a lot of like creative endeavors that you do on the side of, you know, work or whatever. And so it's very attractive that you can be so serious and get shit done when it needs to get done. And then you're also living like a very balanced life and seem like you have a lot of great connections and authentic connections with people, and like you have a lot of friends to do life with, right? Four of Wands also talks about celebration, celebrating with people. And I feel like one of the reasons why people look at you or look to you as such a source of authority, one thing that I love about this new deck that I just got, look how pretty this is. It's all like gold. But one thing I really love is that, you know, this deepens my awareness of tarot and just like how freaking insanely deep it is, because, you know, the major arcana and the minor arcana, like based off the numbers, they help you build upon one another, right? And so, for example, I'm seeing a lot of like 13s in here and 4s, right? Which is like the Emperor energy. But 13, what is that? That's death and rebirth, right? You know, that's goes along with the Fool kind of energy, right? We have a lot about completion, and like, you know, there's a lot of 10s and 19s as well. So what is that? The Sun and the Wheel of Fortune. So you really do exude this sense of kind of being surrendered to something greater than yourself. And, you know, like, you don't give up until you are certain that, like, you keep pushing on. But when it's very clear that a death cycle needs to happen, it's like you don't resist that, because you know on the other side of that is a new version of yourself. And so people are just, they really wonder just like how you have come to be so understanding of these natural cycles. And I feel like ultimately people wonder how you just get by and how you are able to live a life that's like really on your own terms, or that seems that way, like where you're kind of making your own schedule, or at the very least I feel like you have a very flexible and open type of schedule, where there's a lot of freedom to explore and to like create and have fun. And so I feel like what people don't know beneath the surface is like what they're wondering about, is like the how. And I feel like it's because you've surrendered, you understand that in order to become even greater versions of self that are more confident, more knowing, more just able to align to that higher aspect of self, you know, that there's a process that you have to continuously go through with that. And it's always shedding and, you know, seeing the light of things, right? Doesn't always mean things aren't getting heavy or hard, but with the Sun energy coming through here, it's all about seeing things as they truly are, right? Understanding the nature of reality as it truly is. Not necessarily how we want it to be, but like how it is, right? And it's all an invitation. It can all be used as an invitation to experience greater freedom, right? To rejoice in the entirety of life, the entire celebration of life. That's why, you know, the lamb is really something like, it literally says like prophetic in this, and you know, in its little animal book card, whatever. And so I feel like people just are so amazed at the profundity of just your expression. And even when things get kind of chaotic and like burdensome and heavy, people are like, where does this person get the will to keep going, to keep carrying on? And it's because I feel like you've really aligned to something that's greater than yourself. Like you're tapped into your dharma. You've done this so many times. I mean, the turtle talks about, you know, being an ancient soul. And so you know what's up. That's why you're not really like thrown off guard or thrown off. You're off kilter when things start going awry, is because, you know, you're just like, all right, this is part of it. But yeah, I feel like people wonder, people assume that if you're not already like well known, that you will be, okay? And you'll more and more, you'll be seen as like this authority figure, if you're not already. And if you are, it's just going to continue to grow, because you have such a unique perspective about life. And yeah, it doesn't feel compartmentalized where you make, I don't know, like where you try to seem like you're more evolved than you're not, or like you're better than you are. And I feel like because of that, you're just like, people love your authenticity. And that's what makes you such a reliable authority, is because like there's not this weird energy of you trying to hide something or you trying to put on a show for any reason. It's like, this is me, and you know, I have nothing to hide. And so that gives other people permission to do the same thing. But you do it in a very balanced way. It's like even when you don't speak on things that would like show how wise you are, if that makes sense. Even if you're not like, all right, this is what I'm learning right now, you know, my spiritual journey, and like, this is how I see things. And it's just like the peace that you emanate in all situations, where most people might freak out or something, you know, or kind of lose their shit a little bit. You're just like, all right, you're just so calm. And yeah, I keep being drawn to this because there is a lot of emphasis on people wondering like where you're going to go from here, because there's just like such a bright future ahead for you. And yeah, they're like, how does this person do all of this? Like, they're always having fun, and like even their work seems like fun. Even the things that seem like most people are like, oh, that's a responsibility, because you see that as being part of your dharma. And so you're seeing that as being, you know, something greater than yourself. It doesn't feel like heavy. It doesn't feel like I have to do this. It feels like I get to do this. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people want to pick your brain and just like get to know you more. Yeah, very explorative. So there's more of that kind of Fool energy that's coming through here with Explorer. But yeah, people want to explore life with you. And you seem well traveled, or just like you understand a lot. And I feel like it's because you've had very many lifetimes. Okay. But yeah, people are wondering where your journey is leading you, right? Where you're going next. Physical outlet. Yeah, there is a lot here too with the 10 of Wands and the physical outlet. People wonder what you do to like keep fit, or to like keep mentally fit or spiritually fit, physically fit for, you know, a lot of you as well. I feel like, you know, this could be a group that has my fellow, well, I shouldn't say fellow because I don't teach fitness anymore right now, but fellow fitness instructors or yoga instructors or something. Or like maybe you do like some sort of like acro yoga, or I don't know, there's something where people just wonder how you stay so grounded and how you are able to let off steam. Because I feel like even when you need to express like you need to communicate something to someone that has like maybe rubbed you the wrong way or crossed your boundaries, you do so in a way that is very tactful, and that doesn't necessarily burn bridges. It like keeps the bridge there, you know, but there is a sense of like, you're not gonna put up with people's bullshit. It's like, come as you are, but at the same time, like, don't be projecting your bullshit on me. Like, you know, there's a sense of being around you. People wonder if like, people just feel like, they're like, I wonder what this person would do if I said A, B, C, and D, or like if I showed my ass in this way. And so I feel like people are kind of like on their best behavior in your presence, just because you do seem like such an authoritative kind of figure, and like you wouldn't put up with other people's bullshit with peace and love, you know? But yeah, you just seem like you have a lot to offer, and I feel like people also are like, I wonder how, like, this person probably hears this all the time. They're probably always constantly showered with, like, you know, compliments and people just like pining for their attention and everything. And while that may be true, I feel like it's just because you've tapped into something that's greater than yourself, you know? It's interesting, we have physical outlet and time for a nap. So yeah, people, again, there's more of this sense of, you know, working hard, playing harder, or working hard, playing harder, understanding that it's just as important to, like, something I learned as a fitness instructor is, you know, our muscles need time to recover. So if you're going to the gym every day, or you're taking these classes every day, but you're also not nourishing your muscles in the form of like rest or like stretching, right? Then you're actually not allowing your body to show up even better for you as it could. It's like, you know, we need rest days. The body needs to repair. The muscles need to repair after being literally broken down. And so I feel like that's something that people just wonder how you've gotten to this place of such wisdom of knowing. Like, it just seems like things come really easily to you, even though deep down people are like, but I know it's not easy. Like, you know, to be the marketer of what you do, to be the producer of what you do, to, you know, constantly be putting yourself out there in certain ways, that requires a lot of confidence and having a thick skin, and again, being aligned to something greater than yourself. And so on one hand, it's like people know what you do is not easy, and they assume that what you're doing is bringing you a lot of success and fame and recognition. But also it's like, you just like don't take it too seriously, and you don't burn yourself out. It's like there's not an obsession energy is what I'm getting from this. It's just like, you have a lot of passion maybe with the things that you do, but it doesn't ever reach that point of obsession because, again, there's such like a wise and just like calm, peaceful energy about you. And so you know when it's time to take a break from something, and you know when it's time to like to push on and to just like get shit done and to push past, you know, whatever energetic blockages you might be experiencing, right? So very intuitive. Fork in the road, yeah, you know how to like navigate through challenges, challenging situations. It seems like people just wonder how you make decisions, how you've made decisions to get to where you are. And yeah, I feel like sometimes too, people wonder when they get in certain situations, again, there's that energy coming back up of like, I wonder what pile 2 would do, or I wonder how pile 2 would see this, or I wonder how pile 2 would approach this. Because again, it's like, yeah, I feel like the things that you say to people stay with them, you know, and yeah, there is that comes along with being a leader, you know, and just like something you say to someone that might seem very irrelevant, and then they come to you like weeks later and was like, hey, you said this in a video, or hey, you said this to me and it really stuck with me, and because of it, I like finally did this thing, I took this leap in this direction and I did this thing. And yeah, I feel like you really do inspire people, and your wisdom sticks with them. You're just a natural teacher is what the Lamb is. It's a natural teacher, and that's coming up all across this. Yeah, come to the edge. Look, that's like that Fool energy, and they're both like kind of dancing and whimsical. So you do show people that the fun is found on the fringe, you know, and that the edge of things is where, again, with this physical outlet, like this reminds me of like how you get stronger. You need to push yourself, right? You need to stretch your endurance. You need to stretch your current capacities. And so I feel like people just wonder like how you are able to always be shifting and growing. And it's like, they're like, where does this person get all this energy? But it's because you're not playing small, right? You're not constricting yourself. And so you're like dancing on the edge of things of life. There's a lot here about grace too. And so, yeah, you have such grace even in challenges and just with the things that you do in general. There's a grace to you, and it's like there's like a fearlessness about you too. It's like whatever it is, bring it on, you know. Like I've seen worse. Like I've been through worse, and even if it's not just in this lifetime, I'm sorry, sometimes I laugh at inappropriate times, and sometimes I just laugh at stuff like that because I get it, you know. It's like, try me, like I'd like to see you give me your best shot, because you know there's been some stuff I have survived that doesn't hold a candle flame to this other bullshit. So you know, try me, kind of thing. And it's like, again, from this very calm place, but that just goes along too with being an old soul, is you have your priorities straight of like, okay, what I'm doing, like I want it to make a difference in life. I want to add to the planet in a good way. And so you've given yourself a lot of permission to explore things. And people, yeah, want to pick your brain, I'm hearing, and like invite you onto podcasts and do interviews with you and stuff if you haven't already done that. I'm sure you've already maybe have, or at least had invitations. But yeah, I do see that people are really in awe of you, pile number 2, and you do inspire them to bet on themselves more and to follow their own heart, to follow their own passion, and to be the leading authority into their life, to look within versus without, to make their own decisions, etc. So very beautiful. I'm going to leave this reading here today for now, okay? If this video resonated, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps my channel grow as well as the comments. Leave a comment down below. I would really love that. And subscribe if you've been here before, and I hope to see you soon. What's up, pal number 3? Welcome to your reading for what it is that people wonder about you. And I'm just a little giggly because my guide's got jokes, okay? And with all of this energy, like the Chariot, the 5 of Wands, Strength, King of Swords, Beauty, Pele, the freaking fire goddess, like people are like wondering what they gotta do to like get to know you, know you, pal 3. I just want to say that this is like, mainly these readings are geared towards people that barely know you, or have just like maybe met you a few times, okay, or they just like see you out and about. So people that don't know you too well is essentially what I'm trying to say here. So I feel like you guys might have like very dark, striking features, is just something that continues to come up throughout this. Like very like smoldering gaze, okay? And like maybe you have dark hair, you could have longer hair. Some of you could even have shorter hair. But ultimately, I'm just seeing someone that, like, when you look at someone, like, you are looking through their soul is kind of what they feel. There is so much here about embracing all aspects of yourself. And, you know, what's beautiful about this beauty card is, like, you have a timeless kind of beauty, because I feel like your physical appearance, while that is honestly something that I do feel like people notice about you first and foremost, notice how the mirror is facing away from her. And so it's like she's not taking her cues on, like, her beauty isn't something that is just like her looks. And so I feel like whatever it is that, regardless of what you look like, people just are curious about how you have developed such a deep degree of confidence within yourself. Okay, you're very sensitive, pile number 3. You're very sensitive to the world around you, and that is what makes you such a great teacher, with this rabbit and fox kind of, you know, melding of energies. You're really good at, you have a strong intuition, all right? And I feel like sometimes, I feel like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. There's so many things so many connections that are happening at once. But you have a very strong intuition. And it's like something that people just wonder how you've done that, and how you are someone that is able to trust themselves as deeply as you do. And it's interesting too, because there's a deep degree here of perseverance with the Strength and the Chariot card, and like Ace of Pentacles. And so it seems like you are working towards something. It seems like you are trying to build something of substance, and people wonder how they can be part of that, or how they can aid you with that. You also seem to have a lot, and I feel like you're very generous with your gifts, or generous with what you have an overabundance of. It's like, notice this person is like holding his arms open, and it's almost like, you know, take what you need kind of energy. Like there's such a faith within you that things are going to work out, okay? And again, with this, I see this individual with his eyes closed, and his crown is kind of illuminated, and her crown is kind of illuminated, and we have the third eye energy here, and we have more of this like kind of crown. It almost looks like the crown again coming through. And so I feel like people just are in awe of your ability to trust in the unknown, and trust in things that you can't see. And where a lot of people might have given up, you continue to push on, and you continue to surprise people. You continue to start over. You continue to have, like, I feel like you're always moving, you're always growing, you're always going through transformational processes. And you don't get stuck for very long. And that's what makes you such a great teacher and a great guide. And, you know, so the fox is extremely perceptive. And, you know, it's a very mystical kind of creature. And yeah, I feel like you're such a catch holistically. And I am getting a sense that people wonder how many other people must be like pining for your attention, right? How many people must be begging for your attention, and people wonder what it would be like to get to know you on a deeper level, like, because externally you seem like you are so self-aware and so self-sourced in so many ways that people are like, I wonder what makes pile number 3. So like, I wonder what makes them scared. Because, you know, people I think can easily get this idea about you that you don't have fears, or that you're like somehow less human or something. And it might just be the way that you carry yourself, but there is a lot of like powerful energy that you bring to the table. I feel like you spark people's awakening, and you get people curious and interested in spirituality, right? I feel like there's, you know, the beauty that the radiance that we start to emanate when we tap into our spiritual storehouse and like are allowing our soul stream to come through more, that actually heals our DNA. It keeps our skin more youthful and radiant, and we start to glow differently, right? And so on one level, people could think it's like, oh, obviously this person's attractive, but understanding, or maybe not fully understanding, that how much of that attraction that they have is less physical, although it's there. But what keeps people wondering about you and keeps them like intrigued with you is it's like you're just like this volcano that like is just bubbling and bubbling with goodness. And I feel like people just like are like, I wonder what makes this PELE 3 tick. Like what gets them going? Like what pisses them off, or like what makes them scared in life? Because I feel like you so gracefully navigate challenges. And yeah, and I feel like part of your secret is because you have your eye on something bigger. You have your eye on the prize, right? You don't get distracted too easily with, pettiness or arguing, or like, you don't see competition in the same way that other people do, because you're locked into what you're here for. And so, yeah, I think you trigger other people's awakening. And I'm hearing too, people wonder about you because they like get a lot of synchronicities about you, and they see you in their dreams. That's something that people might tell you. It's like, oh my God, I had the most strange dream about you, or like at least you'll hear it within a few days of you listening to this video, okay? But people really wonder like how you've become such a regal person, so regal. And so there's a lot here too about communication. And so it's like you're able to communicate such like almost, what's the word? You're really great at communicating things that are very far-fetched, or that's not even the right word. See, I'm not good at it. Clearly, you guys are on some different level than me, even having so much Mercury in my birth chart. But I feel like you're really able to communicate concepts that are hard for people to grasp, and you are able to break it down in a way that makes it seem so simple. Like you can take the most complex things and make it make sense for people, because that's a natural gift of any type of teacher. And someone that is so perceptive with all of this fire energy coming through, that's all about being extremely perceptive individual. Yeah, I feel like it's a big part of it just comes from the fact that with the Chariot and the Strength card, these are both like, especially to have this combination together, the Chariot and Strength, it's like you have your eye on something and you're not going to settle until you get it kind of thing, right? It's like, what you want, and what you're willing to settle for and not settle for. And because there's a lot of like upper chakra kind of things happening, and the air card, we don't see too much of the water element here. It's mainly fire and the upper chakras, which to me tells me that you're someone that despite fears, despite anxieties, right, despite doubts and insecurities that may exist, because you're so tuned into something bigger, and like those don't inhibit you like they might inhibit, other people, that because the upper chakras are blocked or like a little bit dull and haven't been utilized or strengthened, it can be easier to get stuck in the lower chakras and just like repeating karmas kind of thing, versus when the upper chakras are active, that's when you're essentially transmuting karma and becoming much more of a co-creator, versus someone that is just continuing based off of old narratives and subconscious programming. But yeah, there is something about you that overall people just wonder like what you do in the world, how you make money, because you seem very abundant on very many levels. And I feel like people do wonder just like how you would see something. How would this person see this? And just appreciate how like you embracing yourself and you just being such an example of what true beauty is, I feel like gives other people a lot of hope. And that might not even be the best word, but it just like, it inspires other people to go within themselves, okay? Because they see how they continue to see you upgrading with all this moth energy and becoming better and going through glow ups and getting all these new opportunities and having fun and just like becoming more and more beautiful and self-sourced. And like people want your attention, right? There's a lot of people I feel like that want your attention just because you are someone of great value. And so it's like people are taking a page out of your book and learning how to go within in order to make sense of the without. I feel like overall you have really learned how to rely on yourself and something greater than you to kind of like feel good. It's like you don't seek validation externally. Like you've learned how to seek your validation and like how you feel about yourself, your worthiness from things that aren't of this world alone, right? And because of it, I feel like navigating this world becomes very easy for you. And people are like, how does she do this? Like, or how does he do this? How is this person so graceful and seem to be so unfazed by certain things, right? Yeah, let's see what else. Yeah, a lot of with the awakening, oh my gosh, and divine purpose, this just really confirms what I was just about to say of like, just the spiritual awareness, right? That is so evident being around you guys. I feel like people wonder who you go to. They're like, who does pile number 3 talk to? I have had people ask me that before, like, who do you talk to? Like, and about what? Because maybe you're just so in tune with things and so perceptive that, wow, sorry, brain fart. I got something about Sagittarius energy and Virgo energy. Okay. You guys might have prominent placements in those and throughout your chart in those signs specifically. But yeah, people wonder who you go to talk to about things, because I feel like you can bestow so much wisdom to other people and, you know, help them out of their fears and their anxieties. And people wonder like who you feel understood by, because people feel so embraced and understood in your presence. Because again, yeah, with the King of Swords energy, that's being able to see a lot more than probably most people. It's you've really fine-tuned your perceptive capacities, you know, really expanded your lens of perception through teachings, probably with that Sag energy, spiritual teachings, knowledge, wisdom, philosophies, etc. And yeah, I think that what was coming through about Virgo too, you know, Virgo is the virgin in terms of what? In terms of the purity of their intentions, right? So Virgos are just known, or just like that quality is like, you know, separating the wheat from the chaff is, because there's, excuse me, I know that's what the picture or the symbol, I'm so sorry. Mercury retrograde has been hard for me, okay? Coming from a fellow Virgo. And Virgo, I have Virgo in my Mercury, or vice versa. I don't fucking know anymore. But essentially it's like the energy of what you're doing and like utilizing your gifts for a higher purpose, right? And the purity of your intentions for what you do. It's not like to gain fame, or it's not necessarily to like puff your own head or like build up your own ego, but it's because you just want to be of service, of the highest service to the planet. And again, that there's more confirmation coming through about how much of like your spirituality is something that people notice. And yeah, I feel like people are overall just in awe and just honored to be in your presence. And it's really cool, I feel, for people to see someone that has such integrity and just like would rather do the right thing than rip someone off. Or like, I feel like this would be the last group to do something where it felt like someone else was getting exploited, right? Or, you know, exploiting a situation, manipulating a situation for someone's benefit. It's like, no, how pile number 3 is like engaging in things and wanting to do things where the most amount of people can win, if not everyone, right? But again, there is that sense of utilizing your gifts and your talents and your what you're naturally good at and what you're here to bring to the planet, and, you know, just giving it up, you know, giving it up to God, giving it up to Source, as well. So yeah, what else do people wonder about pile number 3? All right, we have come to the edge. This came up in one of the other piles. We have round and round. We have poised. Yeah, so there's a lot more about just like being very gracious. Yep. Look at that. Being connected to a higher power. It's so beautiful. Yeah, you're very clearly in tune with something much greater than yourself. I mean, that continues to be reiterated time and time again. And I feel like people just are curious, like, how do you do that? Like, sometimes I feel like it can become so natural for us to know where to go for our own nourishment and know what true spirituality is all about and how to connect with it, that sometimes I feel like it just is so obvious to us that we don't realize that, like, when we say, oh yeah, I'm on, like, this spiritual journey, people are like, what the fuck is that? Or some people are like, what does that mean? You know, where are you going? You know, kind of thing. And so I feel like people are curious how you have undone certain karmas and how you've gotten to where you are. And I'm hearing something too about some of you guys have overcome, like, eating disorders or body dysmorphias, or, you know, there's a lot here about, like, learning how to accept yourself. And people are wondering, when you talk about certain things and what you've been through and the insecurities you've had, people are like, how did this person overcome this? And I feel like you inspire people more to just not take themselves so seriously. And, you know, to live on the edge, to me, is like to bet on yourself, to bet on your life, you know, and to not play safe, to not play small. And the more that you are aligning to that higher power, what you're showing people is the more that you align to that higher power, the more easy it becomes to dance on the edge, right? Because it's like the risks, it becomes a greater risk to not align with what you're here for, you know, to not try to execute on your life's purpose. It's more of a risk to not do that than it is to do it and to, like, take a chance, right? And so I feel like people also wonder just, like, how it seems like you're always being set up, you're always being prepared in a good way for, like, your next step. And they're just in awe of how much you have surrendered and how it looks good on you, okay? Like, your energy is so right for you. And yeah, it's very magnetic. It's very, there's so much faith, all right? Even, I'm sure even your faith gets tested like the rest of us, but there is so much faith in this pile of things always working out, of things always getting better. And I feel like that is the case for you, okay? And yeah, internal beauty is there, external beauty is there, like, all around. You know, you're very handsome, you're very beautiful, whatever you resonate with. And yeah, I feel like people, if anything, just wonder how, you know, they can take what they learned from you and make it their own. Because, you know, if anything, there might be some people that try to mirror what you do or in some way, like, replicate what you do, but it's kind of like a compliment because, you know, you're just such an authentic expression of yourself. You've come so far within yourself that people, yeah, they just admire it so much. And they're like, there's no way I could, like, you know, even if someone tried to, like, copy and paste what you're saying, it's not infused, right? It's not infused with you. Like, if you write it and you put it out there, it's infused with you, you know, versus, like, if someone tried to do something similar, it doesn't have that same potency behind it because it was born more of, like, the mind and less of this higher aspect, you know, because you infuse this higher aspect in everything you do, your conversations, what you do in the world, what you put out into the world. It's just very you, and it's very beautiful and very inspiring. And people really do wonder how, you know, like, where it's going to take you and just how they can become confident in themselves, you know, in a similar degree that you have. Because again, it's, like, very clear you've had to overcome a lot within yourself, within and without. And yeah, you haven't given up, man. And I'm inspired, Pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. If this resonated today, please give this video a thumbs up. Please leave a comment down below. Both those things really do help my channel reach more people. I really appreciate it. And yeah, subscribe to my channel if you have been here before, and I hope to see you soon. What's up, group number 4? Welcome to your reading for what it is that people wonder about you. All right, so people be wondering a lot. Okay, group number 4. First of all, you have the Empress coming up twice, the Empress energy coming up twice. I just wanted to put that out there right away. Also, the numbers 19, 10, and 1 might be significant for you, as well as 3. Okay, those could be like dates, life path numbers, like birth dates. Yeah, so what's really interesting is that the doubt and the dragonfly card go together beautifully, because like the dragonfly talks about clarity and seeing things clearly and not getting swept up in illusion, right? And that's where doubt comes from, is when we're believing our own thoughts to be true, especially the negative thoughts, right? Especially the limiting thoughts, right? So these kind of complement each other. And then over here, the stingray talks about developing a backbone, right? Standing up for yourself. And then we have boundaries with Durga. So, I mean, it's very powerful. Like, one thing that people really wonder about you when they come into contact with you is you seem very fearless. You seem very confident. You seem very charismatic. You seem very sure of yourself, and they wonder how you have gotten there, right? You're also someone that seems like they don't want to fuck around with you, right? Like, if they're about to bring some bullshit to their doorstep, then they better be ready to handle the fury that you could most certainly bring. And I don't think it's because you're just like an unstable type of person. I feel like it's because you have done so much to like create and establish a sense of peace and harmony in your life. And it's like, if people are going to be in your field, you expect to be respected at the very least. I almost dropped an F-bomb, but at the very least, you expect to be respected. And it's not even like an unearned type of respect, you know, it's just like, I feel like you just have such high standards, and that's how you treat other people as well. You see people all as equal and all deserving of respect and equal rights and being treated fairly. And so I feel like people just sometimes wonder what it would be like to be on your bad side, okay? And they just also want to know how you've become so firm and fearless in who you are. And yeah, there's a lot here about being having a very strong intuition, or a very active third eye, and a very powerful and just aware intuitive body, like emotional body. Yeah, I feel like people wonder about you, like, who has your heart, if anyone. They wonder what it would be like to be with you in like, honestly, I'm kind of getting like a like romantic type of way. I feel like you draw people to them. People are like, why am I so drawn to pile number 4 with this, you know, this Empress energy coming up so strongly? Like, why am I so drawn to them? Right? And wondering, like, is this love? Like, what do I feel from them? But I feel like also, you know, there might be a nervousness for people to tell you how they really feel, because they're not sure how you would take it, and you know, they don't want to get rejected at the end of the day in any way, whether it's a friend or whatever. You know, I feel like a lot of people get from you that energy of come correct or don't come at all. And so they're like, but I don't know if I'm correct enough, okay? I don't know if I'm correct enough. So yeah, I feel like people wonder where you're going in life, right? Like, where all of your creative endeavors are going to lead you. I feel like there's a lot of passion and power that you infuse in what you do. And like, people see things just happening for you very effortlessly. And it seems like when you want something, like, look at the determination. Like, when she is sure about the wand that she wants, right? That, like, there's no stopping her, right? There's no stopping pile number 4, him, whatever, you. I was mainly talking about the person in this picture, but yeah, I feel like when you have your eyes set on something, it's like nothing can hold you back, not even your deepest fears or insecurities, and you make shit happen with this magician energy. And people are just like so astounded of like, how are you able to try so many different things and go in so many different directions and have things grow and kind of seem to like happen so effortlessly for you? Like, but what, you know, unbeknownst to them, it's just like you've taken a lot of time to get to know yourself, and you've taken a lot of time to turn within and to get straight about your priorities. You know, again, that's why I feel like maybe at some point you did have a lot of doubt and you did fall prey to the illusions of your mind a lot easier. And so, you know, you started seeking things like meditation and like maybe breath work or different forms of yoga or different things to help calm your mind and soothe your mind, right? And so I feel like with all of that, with all of, you know, the darkness and the confusions that you have navigated through, or that you tried to just like get some clarity on, you know, caused you to connect with a deeper part of yourself that, you know, is now kind of what does the work for you. It's like you get an inspiration, or you get a nudge, you get a new idea or a new direction, and you're like, I'm just going to follow this. Like, you know, I'm not going to wait around, whether it's good, whether it's bad. Like if my intuition says yes, I'm not going to wait around to see what I could have missed out on. If my intuition says no, I'm not going to wait around to figure out why, you know. There's like this deep sense of trust. And yeah, people, I feel like, wonder when you come into their life, they're like, what is the significance of this person? Because I feel like you offer so much clarity in people's lives, and you're just such a force to be reckoned with, honestly, that people assume like you coming into their life means something big or means something good. And honestly, I feel like, especially for like the opposite genders, or, you know, whatever you're attracted to and whatever is attracted to you, you know, I feel like you come into people's life and they're instantly, I feel like you're easy to fall in love with, okay? Because there is such a clarity about you. You know, it's easier when you have like kind of a hermity energy for people to project onto you a lot more easily, because like there's less of your own ego there. There's less of you needing to prove anything. There's less of you-ness, and it's more, you're much more identified with the soul, right? So I feel like it's easier for people to like kind of project what their own, whatever they need reflected to them onto you. That's why might honestly end up leading people to feel defeated, but it's like people can't at the same time hate you, right? People can't be mad at you, because it's like at the end of the day, they're like, I guess this was my own undoing, right? It's like they kind of knew better in the first place. Yeah, there's so many powerful, I mean, you have 5 major arcana coming through, so you have a lot of major energy, you know, powerful energy. And I feel like, yeah, I feel like overall people are just in awe of how you go about your life, and you are a gift, you are a lesson and a blessing, right, in people's lives. So yeah, it's like, I feel like people just want to manifest someone like you in their life. Yeah, I'm seeing 111 as well, or 1111, but yeah, man, what a tough life for you, Pal 4, because I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like maybe you would be the type of person that you're like, I can't do this dating thing because like people just be falling for me or whatever, just like taking, like misreading your good energy, right? Misreading the vibe, because I just feel like you're naturally just a very heart open and just aware person. You've done a lot of clearing of your chakras, and you're very conscientious about, you know, yourself and your journey, and a lot of introspection. And so it's like you're an easy target to fall in love with. And so I can see maybe even you feeling like defeated, because, you know, you have to go then and like try to console other people as to why you're not interested in them on a level of like that type of attraction. Like I've had to, oh man, I don't do dating, okay? This is why. This past like couple weeks has shown me why I don't do it. It's like I've had someone get really hostile with me when I was like, hey, just see this as friends. Like, they're like, why didn't you tell me sooner? And I'm like, well, I didn't know sooner. And how am I going to know until we like go out on a date, you know? I don't know. It's just so interesting. And eventually they like, I feel like they marinated on it, because a few hours later they like kind of apologized in a very Piscean way, but love my Pisces. My daughter is a Pisces. But yeah, it's just been interesting, you know, and I kind of feel like maybe that's something that you guys might experience too, is like having to be like, hey, you know, I don't really control this thing from this level. Like I don't control my attraction from this level. And, you know, it's nothing personal. It's just like I'm following what feels right, you know. So yeah, that's beautiful. People want to make you their hubby or their wife or something, you know. What else do they wonder? They wonder where you're going in life. Yeah, they wonder what you're doing next with all of this like explorative, passionate, passion following energy. They wonder what your next adventure is, what your next kind of like teaching is going to be, what it is that you're going to share with the world next. People learn so much from you. It's so clear, that hermity energy. There's so much here about understanding like the laws of karma and the laws of nature and just the nature of reality in general. And so you bring a lot of clarity to people's lives, and I feel like what keeps you healthy is exploring a lot. And I feel like that's also too why people wonder how you are such a magnet to the things that you want and the things that you desire. And it's because you are constantly like exploring and, you know, not getting too stagnant where you are, and like meeting new people and, you know, having new adventures. And so that keeps the channels clear, you know, it keeps it clear. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of acceptance of your totality and all of your experiences with the Wheel of Fortune here too. It's like, I feel like you've come to terms with the things that have happened to you, with the person that you've been. And so again, too, when we're doubting ourselves, like that eats up so much of our Shakti, that eats up so much of our creative power. And so I feel like that is one of your secrets that, you know, people are wanting more clarity on, is like, how does this person have so much energy and so much passion and so much excitement for life? And it's because you don't see your doubt, like you're not trying to resist your doubts, you're not pushing them away, again, because this talks about illusion. And so it's like, if you're trying to disprove illusion, you're kind of suggesting that it's actually real, as if there's something to disprove. And so by you kind of accepting the totality of your existence and just your experience and who you are, it frees up a lot of that energy from being eaten away by doubt. And, you know, and like you have firm boundaries with your own self and your own mind. And like, you know, when you start to get too stagnant, or you start to go down a path that you're like, this is, you know, kind of me falling back into old behaviors, man. It's like you whip yourself back into shape. You're like, no, I'm not going to do this. I've like, you know, felt so defeated before by this cycle. I'm not doing this. And I feel like, yeah, people wonder why so much Empress energy. And it's because the boundaries, because, you know, you take time to meditate and you know, you develop a sattvic mind is what it's called. So like still waters, okay? You develop clarity in whatever your practices are, the teachings you engage in or whatever helps you feel peaceful, but also very powerful too. So what else do people wonder about pile number 4, please, Spirit? What do people wonder about pile number 4? All right. New life. Yin. Loyal heart. Yeah, people really be wanting to like put a ring on it, you know? No place like home. Yeah, you feel like home for people, man. You feel so good. You feel so good being in your energy field. I feel like this is one of those things, because you're so grounded in who you are, that no matter where you go, you're always home. You know, you found your place. You found your home in the universe. And so I feel like people just wonder what it's like to like live life in your shoes, or to see life from your perspective. Because again, it's just, there's so much confirmation continuing to come through about how things seem to come to you. Okay, the last pile, there was a lot of like strength and chariot and that active masculine force. This pile is like, things come to me, you know, and it's because when things are not ready for you anymore, you're like, okay, like I'm not going to entertain this anymore, right? And I feel like people wonder how it can be so easy for you to cut people off, to drop connections, to drop jobs, to just like be like, I'm done with this thing. Whereas, you know, some people can do like a kind of two-step between, like, people don't like to fully be like, all right, that's it, right? There's always that what if. But I feel like when you intuitively know that something is blocking a blessing, or blocking like a new life or a new version of yourself, there's no part of you that is resisting. You know, you're just like, all right, I got to cut it off. And so that's kind of like one of your secrets that people don't, that people wonder about, like, are they so magnetic? How is he or she so magnetic? It's because you make space for your new life. You know, you make space for things to come in by saying bye-bye to those things that have served their purpose. But I feel like people just, you know, would be very loyal to you. They wonder what it would be like to be in a partnership with you. And they would be very loyal to you. And I feel like you are someone that a lot of people feel like they would upgrade with, right? That, okay, if I'm in a relationship with this person, with pile number 4, like I'm going to get better. You know, my life is going to be enhanced. I'm going to be enhanced. my frame of mind is going to be enhanced, my spirit's going to be enhanced. You know, there's a lot of love that people like tend to have for you. It's very clear of like, people are like, where are you at in terms of like a lover? Like, and I don't mind being aside. I don't mind being on the side. Like, I'll take what I can get, you know? And, yeah, that's interesting. So maybe in terms of your relationship dynamics, you're a little bit unique as well, or like unconventional, I should say. Interesting. This is so beautiful. I just noticed the spiral here, which this is a card within itself that's called Round and Round, and it talks about overcoming, you know, meeting similar lessons, but you're just seeing it from a higher space. And so I feel like this is saying you come deeper and deeper into yourself. Like, you become so much more magnetic, so much more beautiful, so much more like regal as you, like, you're just coming, you continue to come deeper into yourself, if that makes sense. Like, you're shedding more layers of things that aren't meant for you. Again, those boundaries, like, you're releasing. It's, people just wonder, like, they're like, how is it so easy for this person to move through life? And I feel like it's because you have a very sobered relationship to the nature of reality. And that's like, things are going to change, people change, you know, housing opportunities change, job opportunities change, like everything is in a constant change. And so I feel like that's what makes you feel so comfortable in yourself. And despite what's happening around you, it's like, you don't ever, you know, everything is going to be good, like thriving in chaos kind of thing. This is a very powerful group, let me just say, because it's so clear that you were kind of like the safe haven for a lot of people. They just feel seen in your presence. They feel like they're at home when they're around you. And, you know, they just wonder where they fit into your life, like big picture wise. They wonder like how they can continue to fit into your life, or, you know, how they can continue to see you, because I feel like you're always on the move, you're always up and running. They're like, how can I make this make sense? With pile number 4. Yeah, this is very beautiful. Yeah, but the no place like home reminds me of the acceptance too, because, you know, it's like that motherly, nurturing energy that the Empress has, and this yin energy has, of like, you know, when a child that comes to their mother, you know, when my daughter comes to me about like fear, when she feels fearful of something, or, you know, she's just like is going through learning how to be a human on this earth, it's like, there's such a comfort of like, it's okay, like everything's gonna be okay, you know, you're perfect, you know, everything's great. There's that kind of nurturing that I feel like you convey to other people. And so they're just like, oh, like, mommy. Okay, that was weird. But, you know, you just give this, you have a very maternal or paternal kind of energy about you. Even if you're male, this can absolutely apply to you, you know, of like just feeling so nurturing to people, and really seeing beyond. Like, people are like, wow, like when they really wonder why it is they're so drawn to you, it's because what you see in them is not their personality, right? And the fleeting nature of what they think they are, and their thoughts and their mind. And you see like into their heart, you connect with their heart, you connect with their soul. And so, yeah, there's a lot of people wonder about you. They would just honestly wonder like how such a beautiful creature in person can exist. And I feel like people can't even be mad at you when things don't end up, you know, working out maybe how they thought it would, or how they thought they wanted it to, because there's something about you that communicates consistently, whether you express this and you have like a public platform, or like there's somewhere where people are tuning into your work or something. There's something about you that really expresses the fact that, you know, there's something greater in charge of this whole thing, and we're not controlling it from this level. And the best we can do is just to align with where we're being guided and not to resist it. And so they're like, I can't even be mad, like this person is still bomb, you know, and so like, how can I stay in their life just in case, you know, I can get another opportunity or something. Yeah, but this is so beautiful. Yeah, thank you guys for being on my channel. Thank you for contributing your beautiful energies to this channel in general. If this video resonated, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Both of those really help my channel grow and just reach more people. Yeah, and subscribe if you've been here before, and I hope to see you soon.